Hi guys, Joseph here again. I am very happy to be on the screen to display to you based on least privilege access. The question is, which administrator or which admin rule can add domain to an M365 tenant? That's what we're going to be looking at today. So looking at this Microsoft doc that I have here, when you create a new M365 tenant, it is going to give you a default domain or a generic domain of .onmicrosoft.com, right? As an organization, you may want to use your own domain that speaks to your business. So you have to know who is supposed to be able to add domain to your environment or to your tenant, right? There are two administrators that can do this, and one is the domain name administrator and the second one is the global administrator. I see that a lot of persons only know about the global admin because the role is well spelled out, but the domain name administrator is not well known to a lot of persons, and that's the essence of this video, to bring it out for you to know that there is a role called the domain name administrator. That, by the way, you can have as much as 5.onmicrosoft.com in your environment. I'm just trying to bring this to your notice. So right now I want us to bring up the practicality to the screen and see how this works. So I'm just going to bring my test environment right now on the screen. So this is me here as the global administrator. I am signed in here as global administrator. I'll just close this one out so that we can start this demo afresh. So if you are in M365 environment and you want to check out what the domain name administrator can do, of course, if you come to roles and then you click on role assignments, then you're going to see all the roles here listed for you. Now looking at these Entra ID roles, if you scroll down to domain name administrator is indeed domain, yeah. So it can add and remove domain name for both on-premises and cloud deployment, and read and update all properties for domains, right? That's what this guy can do. So so right now if I check the global administrator role here, I would see that the user that I'm signed in as at the moment, which is the mod administrator, has the global administrator role. So because of this, the user would be able to add domain to this tenant. That's fine. So I want to compare these users, right, to the second user who will be able to add a domain to the environment, and that is the domain name administrator, right? This is the admin rule. Now looking at this, I just want to bring up a very powerful role again and just put it side by side, since I can compare three roles in the M365 admin center. So I'm just going to bring up the user administrator rule. This is just by the way, but let it just be by the side. Let's compare the two strong rules and this rule that is not well pronounced most time. So of all the things that this guy can do, of course we know that he can read properties, can create all of that. So the global administrator can do all this, but where I want us to look at is this particular position here: create and delete domain and read and update all properties of domain, right? We saw it from the domain name administrator can do that, and the global administrator can also do this. So these are the only two roles. You can see that the user admin cannot do it by comparison. Now the next thing I want us to do is to quickly run this role, the domain name administrator, run as that admin role, and see if we have option to add domain, and if we also can make those changes and all those savings, and see if it works. Because if you want to do anything in your environment, cybersecurity awareness is very important, and principle of least privilege cannot be overemphasized, as it is very, very important to give just enough access to a user who is going to carry out a certain role. So here we have the domain name administrator. Yes, even though you will be able to see the active users here, he cannot carry out any action on any user. He cannot do anything so on them, like changing passwords or doing anything. That is not his business. So his business is basically to add domain to the environment. So we click on settings, we click on domains. Of course, this is him as what now, as domain name administrator. And the global administrator also, as one of the things he can do, can come to settings and come to domain, and then you will have the same experience as the domain name administrator. So we just want to say add a domain. So you can add, you see option to buy. So let's just click on add, just in case he already has a domain that he wants to add to the tenant. So if I type in Joseph here, josephadmin.com, that is the domain I want to add, right? So if I type that in, then I click on use domain. So if I click on use domain, it's just going to load and then try to initiate adding that domain to the tenant. So it will ask me how you want to verify, just the same thing I would have done if I have all the records for this. I can click on this, and then it goes on to say it wants to verify for me to copy all the records and go add them to my domain provider, but I don't have all those details. But what I just want to prove to you is that the domain name administrator can actually initiate addition of domain. Of course, you can see the josephadmin.com is already here showing incomplete. So the same experience that the global administrator would have had as well. So the take home from here is that just because a user wants to add a domain, or you want a user to be able to add domain to your M365 environment, does not mean that it is only global administrator that can add domain to your tenant. So based on the least privilege access, you want to give that user domain name administrator. I hope this is helpful to you. If it is, kindly give it a like, and if you've not subscribed to this channel, please use that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can get to know about the next contents that will be coming out. Thank you very much again, and have a wonderful day. Peace.